Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you saw me in church today, don't judge me. I literally was not going to post anything today, but I was like, I might as well because I do enjoy this, and I did meet someone who actually said, I watch your videos and they inspire me, and so I'm back at it. I'm like, do you know what? I want to be consistent at this, and I'm going to keep showing up, and I'm going to keep delivering the content that you guys deserve, hopefully better as we grow. Anyways, if you're new to the channel, hi there, my name is Nomata or Ilo, whatever feels comfortable for you. If you are a returning subscriber, what's good, what's popping, what it do? If you are new to the channel, welcome, and we hope you stay. So today, as you can see by the title, I'm going to be going through 10 things that that you can do to make your school life interesting or fun or enjoyable in general. I've got a paper right here with me, and I'm going to be reading through it and kind of explaining what I see it. So this was just like in the heat of the moment. I can probably do a more intense video when I do get time, but this is just like the small tips that I feel like I do try to take on in my journey that have worked for me and kind of making my uni life kind of a more interesting time compared to how it was in first year or the other times, right? So the first one is engage with the questions that the lecturer asks. So I think this could be in high school or even in uni. Like, it really helps when you actually ask questions like in class, or when you respond to a question. It doesn't have to be right. Like, I think when I was in first year, I always assumed that people who were answering questions were people that actually knew what we were talking about. And it's like, right now I don't even have to actually have read beforehand, but because I feel like I have an equal right to actually respond and understand in the class as same as anyone else, despite the fact that they read beforehand or not, I have the right to also understand. So I actually ask and or actually respond, and it helps you to actually pay attention as well. If you're like, I want to engage in this class, you're going to pay attention more, and it's going to feel like this is wholesome. Like, even when I say crazy answers, like that whole, whether people laugh or not, it's kind of like I still feel like I'm part of the class. Like, you can't miss me. Like, you can't assume I'm not even part of the class, because you can see that there's that girl who said the wrong answer that time or whatever the case, but like, you are part of the community and you are part of the class. Like, you are bound to understand more, and even when you don't understand, it's easier for you to then ask because you show that interest in learning, right? And this involves, even if you want to go an extra mile as like doing a consultation hour, like, just maybe if you get to know the lecturer or the teacher at a one-on-one basis, you might actually feel more comfortable talking in class. So it's worth exploring those options, but definitely like letting yourself out and actually managing to talk out loud in class, because I don't know why we don't do it. I feel like for me, it's just like the comfort of knowing that I never did it, so like, why would you expect me to start talking now? But at the same time, it's really like, this is your growth, this is your development, and if talking in class or if being silent in class helps you to understand better, it's worth really like rehashing that to yourself, to be like, am I quiet because I understand better in my silence, or am I withdrawing from something? Is there like a deeper inner rooted thing where it's like, is it a confidence issue? Is it a case of, I know someone else is going to say the answer, do I not deserve to say the answer before they do? Like, it's just those things that are worth putting into consideration, because I find talking in class actually helps you to concentrate, at least on my part, because you're like, yeah, let me say this, I think he said this, and like, if it's correct, then you're like, okay, I am actually paying attention, or I am getting this. Or if you're not getting it, then you're also aware and you're able to actually like raise that as an alert to the lecturer, or to go and ask for extra help. Second point is, make at least one friend. I feel like the whole friend dynamic becomes harder, especially when you step into the uni world. In high school, there's that fear that maybe someone knows someone, right? Like, where you feel like, maybe I'm the new girl and nobody knows me, but other people know each other, and so now I'm struggling to kind of find my community. In uni, it's almost the same thing, but it's also the fact that you've got friends outside of your course. So deep inside, you don't actually think you need to get to know people in your course. It's like, yeah, well, I'm not alone because I already have friendships. So that self-dependence, self-reliance makes you feel like, I don't need to do this, I don't need to chill with all these kids, I'm good on my own. But this is my pro tip, that like make at least one friend in your course who does, like in each module, really, like just try make one friend. It's not easy, trust me. I feel like when you get one friend who is in a module, it becomes harder. You feel comfortable, you know, like there's that comfort that comes with familiarity and just knowing that there's somebody you can count on. But I think it's good to actually branch out and be like, do you know what, like it doesn't have to be the friend that I'm gonna spend, you know, the rest of my life being friends with, but it's a colleague. It's somebody that I know that we have a genuine arrangement or agreement that we've got each other's back when it comes to this module or when it comes to this course. Like I can rely on them, they can rely on me. So just branch out, even if it means like for once in a you know lifetime, you're gonna just like reach out to one person and say, hi, what's your name, you know, like just give that a go and just like branch out. And when you find that you actually have someone that you can be accountable to, so like, are you coming to class today, like are we going together, where you said, like has the lecturer come into class, I'm running late, you know, that gives you like some excitement to say, at least even if this lecture is boring, I've got my friend with me. So do you take your step to say, actually I need at least one friend in this thing, right? Point number 3 is talk to your course mates. So I know I've already said make at least one friend. The problem that we have in that dynamic as well is when you actually have that one person that you're quite close to, you become withdrawn from everyone else, because now you've got somebody and you don't feel like you need everyone else. But actually I want you to practice stepping out of your comfort zone as well, to say, actually I know I've got a friend, but I want to have those moments where I'm not always attached to my friend. Like I can be on my own sometimes and I can talk to people, because God forbid, but if your friend is sick, you're gonna feel like, I don't feel like going to school now, and you don't want to end up feeling like your reputation, your life is now tied to that one person. I'm not saying like don't be loyal, but I'm saying you don't want to end up being in a situation where you've become so attached to that friend that they're the only incentive for you to go to class, where you're like, oh, I can't sit alone, I'm not going because they're not going. So you want to leave room where you can actually still talk to other people. You're not like, because I've got this one friend, I'm not talking to anyone else. Like keep your eyes open, like your ears open, be alert, be fine. Like if someone holds the door for you, be able to like engage in a short conversation. It doesn't have to be like 3 hours or whatever. Like there's what they call the elevator pitch. Like you can literally just talk like for the 3 seconds or 3 minutes that it takes for you to get up and down an elevator. So I'm saying where situations arise, like be able to talk to someone. Like literally, we always talk about this with my friends, that in uni there are faces that you know, like you literally know that if there's that face, I know this is my class, but you actually don't talk to that person, you don't even know their name. And it happens, and I'm not saying talk to everyone, but I'm saying in where opportunity arises, or when you feel like, okay, this feels a bit safe to attack, please do reach out and talk to people, because baby girl, baby boy, like you need community around you. The 4th one, oh my days, I'm actually up on you next with socializing, but the 4th one is have at least one spontaneous moment where you sit next to a stranger. I think that the craziest friendships happen when you step out of your comfort zone. And I say this because I think like in my final year, one thing I was very scared about was that I would not know anyone, because I had a friend group in my previous years where we did everything together, we studied together, we used our collective networks to help each other up, right? So when I was coming back, that was my biggest fear. I knew I had no one. I literally knew only one person, I think, in my course, and I was panicking. I was thinking, okay, like how is everything going to work out now that I'm in the dip on my own? Final year is different from first year. First year, you're kind of thinking everyone doesn't know each other. Final year is people do know each other. People have built connections over time, and you're coming in and you're like, hey, can I join in? So it felt a bit uncomfortable. It felt scary for me. I was like, I've never done this before. I'm not sure how this is gonna go. So when I then stepped in, I remember like just a random conversation with a stranger. We were both lost, I think, trying to look for a way back out of the building, because it was like a relatively new place for us. And I remember just like walking out and them just saying, oh, I was lost, and I was like, yeah, and I was following you, you know. Like the conversation started so slowly, but that conversation made me manage to join the group chat, you know, because I was now in a previous year group's group chat and I needed to upgrade to the new one. So that spontaneous conversation for me helped me to actually gain access to, like, you know, the desired outcome of like being part of like whatever social network we had as a community. So like those spontaneous conversations, like even if sometimes maybe you do have an agenda, or maybe you don't, maybe it's genuinely like genuine, but you find that they're actually quite useful. They help you to realize that there's something you didn't know, because trust me, there is. So just be open to actually talk to other people in your course. You'll be surprised how much you're missing out on because you didn't have a conversation or you didn't ask. Or but it's actually surprising how people are actually open to talk. People are conversational human beings. Like there's some people that are quiet. I think you see that in life in general, that there's some people that are a bit withdrawn, but there's some people that are actually willing to listen to you. Even if they won't talk as much, they want to get to know you a bit more. They're just like open for that holistic community. So like don't go in. I think this is my next point. Exactly, point number 5, see the good in people. So when I say see the good in people, I think that sometimes the reason we're so withdrawn is because we assume that people don't want to talk to us. We assume that I'm imposing myself onto these people. Let me keep a distance, let me not talk too much, let me cut it short, let me leave. But what you realize is actually when you work with people actually want to talk to you. People are interested. It's not like, oh, they've been thinking about you, but it's just that holistic community view that people want to engage with other people in their course. People want to know more people in their course. Like the more the merrier. So don't withdraw because you're thinking, oh, I don't want to be imposed. Just remember that this person is probably also just thinking, oh, plus one more person that I know in my course. Like there are a few exceptions where people maybe are not interested, but don't be the one to look for that. Like what I always say, like literally, like, oh, no men nothing except to love them. See the good in people, anticipate the best in people unless they prove you otherwise. Like innocent until proven guilty. You have no reason to start holding grudges on people or assuming that someone doesn't want to talk to you or someone thinks you're annoying or whatever. Like let them be the one that go like, oh, actually you're talking too much, or I really need to go. Like let them prove it to you first before you create a judgment stereotype on them. So that's going to help you to also step out and actually talk to people. And if you have a positive outlook on people, you're not caught up in that whirlwind of, oh, they're gonna laugh at me, or they're gonna do this. Like let that be God's issue to deal with, whereas you focus on bringing out the best of yourself and really believing the best in people. People want to know you, you want to know them. It's a fair trade. The 6th point is create characters in your head. This one's crazy, but like make your life a movie. I know for myself, obviously people are thinking my character in your story, but what I do in my life, like what's made my uni life kind of interesting, is I have a series. So like currently we're on episode 7. It sounds crazy, I promise, but it helps me look forward to going to class, because I'm like, okay, I'm continuing a series here. Like I've got characters in my head that I've created, they have names, everything's kind of fully fleshed out, and it's like, okay, I'm also excited to step out of my room because I'm thinking I'm continuing a series. My interactions with, this character and that classroom, that lecturer, like it's a whole movie and I'm the main character in that story. And so as a main character, I get to trigger whatever's coming next as well, like from my actions that cause a reaction from the other characters. So I think that it's so powerful, like it's crazy. And I know it's not that deep, but the funny thing is the more I talk about like everything in my story, the more it builds up, and I'm like, is the universe, is everything kind of aligning because of the power of the words that I speak? And it actually makes school or uni more interesting for me. And I'm not saying like have a diary where you kind of create this weird, I don't know, anyways, but what I'm saying is it kind of adds up spice. Like you might want to try it, just like create those characters, make yourself the main story of your movie, and that's going to help you to show up in your best version as well, because you're like, I am the main character and I need to show up as the main character, because the main character, we want to be rooting for you. So you need to make sure that even in your head you're rooting for yourself because of what you're doing. You're like, yeah, this is main character energy, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm gonna do, and this is how I'm gonna execute this, because I need to build up on my portfolio. I need to enjoy the story that I'm painting. So do that if it works for you. If it doesn't, you can always just be normal. But where does normal get you? Point to ponder. Anyways, the 7th point is keep your joy. So what I mean by this, as you can tell, like from the previous points we've been talking about, like this whole positivity, this whole approaching people and everything like that. But before, I think this was meant to come at the top as well, because before all of these people have an impact with you, like every interaction you have has a deposit to your soul. This is something I got from my sister, but it has a deposit to your soul. So someone has the ability to make you smile or cry, hurt, upset, excited. It's just like when you introduce yourself to someone and the next time you greet them, they've forgotten you. Like that's gonna affect you somehow, you know, like you're gonna be like, sorry, like what happened? Like, why are you acting like you've never met me before? But the point that I want to emphasize is that before all of that has an impact on you, there is some closure in security. So if you know and you feel comfortable in your skin, like there's certain things that don't affect me. Like there's a time when I said hi to somebody and I said, oh, we've worked together before, I know you. And they were like, oh, I don't know you, like I didn't recognize you, right? And that sounds so bad. Like right now when I'm saying it, it sounds like, oh, they forgot you. But in that moment I didn't feel anything. Why? Because I'm secure in the fact that I am visible, like I am present, I am that girl. Like that comment didn't like affect me. So you put meaning to words, and because you put meaning to words, it means there's certain things that affect you because of what it means for you. So if someone says I forgot you, and you've got trauma from being forgotten, or you already feel insecure about, like, you know, the fact that maybe you don't even feel like you're present in rooms, people don't recognize you, people don't notice you, and then someone tells you I forgot you, it will impact you like even more, because you're now thinking, oh, this is a trend, this is affecting me, this is wrong. But if it's something that you're like, actually I have no issue being forgotten or whatever, like I know my value, I know, you know, I'm like, it has nothing on me, that's their memory issue, it has nothing to do with my value to them, because why did they forget me? So in the same light, like when you find your joy in God, right, it's really important. So in the same way, when you find your value in God and you're comfortable in how God has defined you, and you find, like, that's why I said the joy of the Lord, like keep your joy. And that joy, I'm speaking of the joy of the Lord, you know, like how the Bible says the joy of the Lord is my strength. Like when you keep the joy of the Lord in you, when you keep the peace that God has given you, like that doesn't come from the world, it comes from an understanding of how God has defined you, the identity that you have in Christ. Like I literally have my identity wall in my room to remind myself constantly that actually this is what God says about my head, my mouth, my nose, my every body part, right? Like just reminding yourself what God says about you, and also just like rebuilding the image that you have, like the words that have been said to you that you're like, you know, maybe this didn't affect you, or you don't notice how much it's affected you, but that sitting back with it and reflecting and thinking, okay, you know what, like I know that this happened in my past, but God has redefined it for me, and because God has redefined it for me, like I'm comfortable in this situation. That means even if it's spoken of, it's not going to affect me the way it did before. So that's basically your new attitude when it comes to, you know, when it comes to approaching these things. So with that confidence, when you then go out into the world, get to know people, not scared to step out, if people forget you, if people treat you the way you don't deserve to be treated, or like in a mean way, or they're just not interested in getting to know you, then you've got that backup. Like it doesn't affect you as a person, and it doesn't stop you moving forward, because your value was never determined by their reaction towards you. Like you give the power to their actions. And so because you have the grace to understand that actually this person might actually be going through stuff, or it's just not for me in general, that's not going to affect how you view yourself because of how they view you. Like you see yourself through the eyes of God, and that means whatever anyone else is telling you becomes invalid in terms of how they view you if it's not aligned with what God has told you. Good. Number 8, be on the lookout for ongoing activities. Yeah, so this is like a very relaxed one. I think that sometimes because we just go to class, come back, go to class, come back, it becomes a bit boring and redundant. Whereas when you actually like are excited about whatever's going on campus, like checking up on your emails. Like I remember for me, I once went ice skating because it was a free ticket from the university. Like they're sponsoring the first few people that signed up, and I was like, might as well, you know. And now like I went for this arts and craft thing where I actually like painted my cup somewhere up there. I can't be bothered. But yeah, you know, like they give you a mug and you paint it yourself. And because I was now in this whole era of painting, like I did this painting. My friends don't think it looks good, but I think it does, because I got the whole canvas thing. Like, how can you say it doesn't look good? I got myself paint, everything, because I was interested in learning and I was just like interested in doing it. So that whole thing of just like being involved in activities around, it might not be painting for you, might be like a music thing or whatever the case, but like something to just help you de-stress as well and kind of like enjoy the beauty of variety and like of more activities going on. The other one, the point number 9, is join a sport or society. So why I'm saying sport or society is it doesn't have to be professional. I play squash at a social level. Like I could probably never compete yet, right? But like I enjoy the beauty of like talking to you guys about debates and public. It gives me that excitement that I'm not learning, but I'm doing something I enjoy. And it's even, it comes in handy when you talk about like CVs and all these things, like just being involved in something other than just like learning, like being in class and hearing someone talk to you the whole time. It helps you to kind of feel involved in just like a wider community and meeting different perspectives and different people, as well as just enjoying the beauty of doing something that you genuinely enjoy doing, like a sport or society. If you're not sure like what you like of course some of us are like debate this and that, but it's like, what if I've never been in a society? What if I don't know? Like you can actually just go and explore. Like tell yourself, okay, I want to go and check out art, or you don't have to be so 100% sure about it before you go and try it out. And if you don't enjoy it, you can always walk out and never come back. That's the beauty of life. Okay, the final tip is show up for classes. I feel like this is the most important tip, because all of what I've said becomes impossible if you just are not somebody who cares about showing up. Like if you're gonna go in like once in 5 days, like even if you had started a connection with someone, it's hard to maintain it, because how are we gonna maintain a relationship if we rarely talk, if we rarely see each other? Like be someone that we can really identify and say, oh, that one's in our class. You don't want people wondering like, are you lost because of how like rare you show up for classes? So do turn up for classes. That's how you even find out what's going on campus. Like all of these points are really helpful if you are going to be someone that actually turns up and shows up, even for your life in general. Show up for yourself, show up for your peace, show up for your joy. Like be somebody who is present and intentional about achieving what they want to achieve, and you'll see life change drastically for you. And you come back here and be like, I can relate, in the comment section. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it's helpful, I hope it's good, and I hope that it got you at the right time. But as for me, I'm gonna leave you guys to enjoy the rest of your week. But for now, bye.